Today I'm doing a little something different. Going to be spending tonight in these woods back here. Behind me I think it looks like an abandoned farm field, but behind the camera, to my left, to my right, it's all forest. Tonight's going to drop down to minus 20, minus 25. And yeah, let's have a good time. Alright, so I got about hour to 2 hours of sunlight left. I gotta find myself a spot to set up a fire and then try to make a shelter. I'm looking for pine trees. There's some all the way over there, so I'm trying to make my way there and hopefully have a shelter set up before it gets too cold. Okay, so this little corner here is where I'm going to make myself a little place to rest. I'm going to clear out some of these branches. I'm going to stay here for a day, a night. I only brought a hatchet with me. I brought a pot, I brought some matches, and I brought all the camera gear. I brought 1 can of food for next day once it's been 24 hours. So if I'm a good boy and I stay, I can have that to eat. But for now, I'm just going to clear this all out and I'm going to start a fire real quick. It's not that windy right now. In fact, I don't think there's any wind at all. And I just checked the temperature. It's about minus 10 Celsius. So it's going to drop pretty quick because the sun's going down. I got maybe an hour left. So I'm going to start doing that ASAP. Just finished clearing the little area. So now I'm going to go out, go around. I found a bunch of dead trees back there. So I'm going to go grab some of those guys and bring them over here. I'm going to start making myself a little fire. Start getting a fire going. Luckily there's like a dead pine tree over there. Looks like it just fell over. There was a big storm a couple days ago, so that works out in my favor. I can use those pine needles to either make a comfy place to sit later or use as a windbreak. I'm not really worried about being cold. I'm one of those people that like really likes the cold. I could sit in the cold all day. But what I'm concerned about is I layered for this, right? And I've been sweating. So that's what scares me. I even brought more clothes that I'm not wearing right now. Sun's at the horizon over there, so I wonder what time it is. I didn't bring my watch. I think I'm gonna stack a bunch of little matches in here. Just for it to burn for sure. So on this camera here, well, this SD card, only about a minute left. Figure I'd show you guys. Sun's about to set on this end. I'm gonna be swapping cameras. My fire is going. And I'll get back to you once switched up the cameras. So, where am I exactly? Because I'm sure you guys can hear. There's cars in the background. Ooh, and a siren. I'm about an hour outside of the city, there's a major highway off that way to the south of me. There's a river, or like a really steep gully type of river thing. On the other side of that, there's a major highway connecting. I think it's connecting Hawkesbury to Montreal. I'm about an hour's away from home in terms of car ride, but I'm 45 minutes into the forest. All right, it's pretty late. I kind of took a nap and I woke up to my fire not firing. So now I'm kind of in a damage control, trying to get it to light. I had brought toilet paper just in case nature called, and I'm going to try and use that to get her going again, because it's cold. It's really cold right now. I think it's like minus 20 something. But yeah, it's around 1 a.m. Been trying for about half an hour now to get the fire back going. It's not going to work. The fire pit's completely soaked and my wood's frozen. So what I'm going to do is I brought some flares in like my emergency bag in case something bad happens. Something like this, where I'm just too fat and lazy and I fall asleep under a tree in the winter and I start to freeze to death. So I'm going to use one of the flares to get the fire going.
As I was editing this video, I found that this clip did not have audio, and I think that's because of how cold it was. It made my equipment not work really well. Anyway, so you can see here I'm trying to light the fire using toilet paper and some matches, but because of the fire I had going before, it melted all the snow around it and it started to refreeze, so it had this slushly frozen wet mess and I wasn't able to light a fire at all. I could have probably spent the rest of the night without a fire. I had brought all those extra clothes, so if I would have just put that on and huddled up against a tree, I think I would have been just fine. But because I was moving around a lot and I wasn't wearing my gloves, so I was sweating a little bit from trying to make a fire and recording and all that. I was a lot colder than I should have been. So about an hour after trying to make a fire, I give up on that and I filmed the quick clip you saw beforehand, and I light up a flare and I use that to set a bunch of branches on fire in my fire pit, and yeah.
So I found this tree here. It's dead. It broke. It looks like it broke a few years ago. But I think I'm going to try and chop this thing down. I've already started with the hatchet. I know it's not ideal, but if I can get it. It'll give me firewood for a while. This flashlight right now. I'm using my phone. And there we go. Whew. That's gonna last me a little while. So with this trunk, I'm just gonna have to stoke it a little more to make sure the trunk catches. But that should last me until sunrise, or at least until close enough to sunrise, right? So I'm just gonna stoke the fire, and then I think it's off the Betty Bites for me. I'm just gonna sleep up against the trunk. Well, against up this trunk. Just trying to warm up my feet. Not really wearing my gloves or anything like that. The ambient air temperature isn't that bad if I'm not sleeping. And the fire is nice and warm now. so it's okay. I want to avoid sweating more than anything else, because I know if I start putting on those layers that I'm just going to overheat. Alright, it's the next morning. It's around 10 o'clock. I didn't sleep much last night. I kept most of the night adding little branches to the fire. The big log did its job though. I took off my coat because I'm actually kind of warm and kind of sweating. So last night was pretty cold though. I did sleep pretty okay, all things considered. I did take a total gamble by not making a shelter, but there wasn't much wind, and it wasn't too cold. In fact, I was kind of warm. I had the big fire. Make some of my canned food, and then I think I'm gonna head out of here. Yeah, so what I'm gonna eat is just gonna be some stag chili. Got it at the store. It's kind of frozen, but it will do. There we go. This is heating up way faster than I thought it would. That's nice. Look at that. I almost burnt it. I have done stuff similar to this before, but this was really the first time I did it by myself with very little stuff. If I were to do it again, I'd probably actually bring less clothes, because that stuff was weighing me down a lot, and I was overheating a lot too. The night was long. This was pretty boring. Like, throughout the night, I would sleep for about half an hour, put wood in the fire, back and forth, until I got this big guy who kept a lot of heat going. But I still had to put branches in there, keep the flames up. See you guys next time.